What's up, everybody? This is Francis over here from Nintendo and PlayerEssence.com, and I am back from E3, and I'm just basically over the next month probably, or maybe a little bit less, I'm just going to be running down my previews, my thoughts on various games, and I thought that I'd start out with the game that everybody wants to know about more, everybody wants to see more, and a lot of people got to play, whether it was Smash Fest or at E3, and that's Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and for Nintendo 3DS. I got to play both of them, and they're both really good, but I do have a couple things that I want to talk about here and there, and this isn't going to be scripted. I'm just kind of going to be rambling off thoughts while you guys watch some of the off-screen footage going on in the background. And I have to say, just right off the bat, Super Smash Bros. For Wii U is exquisite. They've been building upon this engine, this style of gameplay, since the mid to late 90s with Super Smash Bros. On the Nintendo 64, and I really think that they've struck somewhat of a balance, a really good balance between Super Smash Bros. Melee and Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Now, on the competitive side, it might be a little bit different, but as you're just playing, with 4 characters and items and everything, it really feels tight. It really feels, as far as the control goes, really good. One of the best things about the game is the fact that it supports GameCube controllers. I think a lot of people really are used to that GameCube controller, and as soon as you pick up that GameCube controller, you know exactly what to do. It didn't really take me time to get used to anything. I can pick up brand new characters like Greninja, as some of you guys seen in my other video where I was laying the smackdown on people on some of the other press there at E3. I can pick up Little Mac, I could pick up anybody and just start playing and getting into it, but you really, need to think about stuff. Like, you really need to focus more, and in this game it really just looks so sharp. In Super Smash Bros. Brawl, the graphics were good and everything, but if you had a big HD TV, things could get a little, could get a little jaggy here and there, but don't get me wrong, it was still great. But this is exquisite. This is really good graphics, and I think really more, it's not necessarily the complexity of the models or anything like that, or the bump mapping or all that stuff that people, technical stuff. It's more of just the resolution being so clean, less jaggies on the screen, to where you can really see everything. It's crystal clear when the item comes up. There's really no problems with graphics or anything like that in the game. It just looks really good, and better yet, it even plays better than it looks. I mean, it's pretty much 60 frames per second. You can't notice, there's no drops that I could even notice. A lot of crazy stuff going on screen depending on what stage you're playing and the items and all of that stuff. The Smash Ball seems like it's a little bit tougher this time around. Seems like you have to knock it around a little bit more. People just can't break it on a good smash or two, so that's also good. It makes that fun, kind of scrambling around for that. But just the new additions like Greninja really add a lot to the game. I mean, I was playing, and one of Greninja's really cool moves is that he can actually, does like a down smash basically, and he can jump off of that. So I think it's a really cool and unique way of playing with Greninja, especially because he's fast, but he's not super fast, but then again, he's not super light either. He's that nice balance. He reminds me of Wolf, kind of, that right balance between speed and power and weight, and I just really like the game. I also think that they did a really good job with the items, and with some of the new ones. They're cool and they're fun to play with, especially in a 4-player match. The levels are also really good, and I really like the newcomers. I think the Villager and Little Mac and Greninja, they all add a lot of a variety to the gameplay from what I've seen. Plus, we also have Rosalina, and we also have Lady Palutena, which you couldn't play at on the show floor, but those characters are coming. Plus, the Miis are in the game too. So overall, my impressions of Super Smash Bros. For Wii U is really good. I think the game is going to be the best-selling game. As soon as it drops, it's going to sell millions and millions of copies on day one. I wouldn't be surprised if it sold 3 million copies on day one, especially it's coming out in the holiday season. And if they do a bundle outside of the bundle that they're already doing with the game controller and the adapter, they do a console bundle. Once again, I think it's going to be really good, and really going to move a lot of Wii U's and sell a lot of copies, because that game is really competitive. It's really fun, and I won my t-shirt. I got a Super Smash Bros. T-shirt, and they're really pushing it, and the lines were stacked. I mean, they had tons of different stations up. I think they had maybe 8 to 10 stations of Super Smash Bros. And each one of them, you have to wait to play. So I mean, I was playing it over and over again. Overall, my impressions are really good on the game. I'm enjoying it, and I'm just going to have so much fun playing all of you guys, especially online. There's going to be a big competitive scene, big tournament scene, especially with this game. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Now we're going to move on to my impressions of the 3DS version, and they're not as good as my impressions of the Wii U version, because really this game, Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS, it is a console game. Super Smash Bros. Is a console game. It plays better, it looks better, it's easier to track, it's going to have better graphics. I mean, everything is just going to be better on the Wii U version. The 3DS version is just not as good. They've done a really good job adapting the game and having it play smooth with all the craziness that's happening, but the screen, even on the 3DS XL, the screen is a bit too small. You know, even with the, you know, the 3DS XL, just to see your characters sometimes they're really micro and it's hard. And I know you can do like the outlines and stuff like that, and that helps, but it's still not as good as playing on a big screen with the nice graphics and the nice, you know, and the GameCube controller, you know, and that type of control method. Because with the 3DS, you lose that smash stick, and I really like using, sometimes flicking that smash stick on there, and I like the triggers, you know, for dodging and everything like that. So personally, to me, the 3DS version, it's basically just it's a great game and it plays well, don't get me wrong, but the smaller screen size, the control method as far as the smaller buttons, the shoulders, it's just not as good as the game controller, and I just don't think it was really intended for that in the first place. But I still think that it's a great version of the game. I still think it plays really well, it plays fast at 60 frames per second as well. It looks good for a 3DS game. I really like the art style. It looks better than any 3DS game that I've seen up to this point. I mean, maybe Resident Evil Revelations looks better, but I mean, for what's going on, I'm pretty sure it's the most technically impressive 3DS game out there. So I'm definitely going to say that it looks great for the hardware it's running on, but it's just not up to snuff, especially when you compare it to the Wii U version. Plus, you have to talk about the music, you know, less tracks, less, you know, they're going to have the same amount of stages for the most part, but it's going to have less music tracks. Smash Bros. Has always been about a celebration of all the different types of music, so you're going to get less there. So overall, I'm a lot more hyped for the Wii U version than I am for the 3DS version, and I'm still going to get both because there's going to be some nice interconnectivity between the two, but overall, I still think the Wii U version is going to be the main version. That's where, you know, everybody, even if you're a 3DS owner, you're probably going to run out and go buy the Wii U version too. And I know if you're a Wii U fan, you're definitely going to get the Wii U version, and you're going to be forced to buy the 3DS version because the 3DS version comes out and you're everybody's huge Smash fan. So overall, I'm super excited, super pumped. 10 out of 10 as far as my excitement or my hype for the game, and overall I'm just really excited for Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, and not so much for the 3DS version, but still gonna get it. Alright, so that's basically my hands-on preview straight from E3. Hopefully you guys like it. Trust me, there's going to be more where that came from. I'm going to be uploading more gameplay clips, going to be uploading more hands-on previews. I got a ton of stuff coming, so keep it locked here on PE, Nintendo, and PlayerEssence.com for all the latest news, reviews, trailers, tips, and tricks, and everything that went down at E3. Peace out, guys.